From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Wednesday. Good morning to you. I'm Nicole Griffin.
Nicole, good morning. I'm Rafael Sanchez. A very busy morning right here in central Indiana on this December the 16th. Many of us waking up to snow in central Indiana this morning. Snowflakes, as you can see, falling in Greenwood in Johnson County overnight. And there is much more to come. Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Wednesday. I'm Rafael Sanchez. I picked the perfect day to return back to my living room to get back to work. It is great, though, to have Nicole Griffin in Studio A, sitting in for Lauren Casey. Good morning also to my good friend Todd Clausen. It's beautiful out there, though, I gotta say. You know?
Yeah, it's beautiful, but you're going to want to give yourself some extra time, right, Todd?
Yeah, you know, and I see you two coordinated with the Alert Day banner with the red that you guys are wearing.
To go.
And obviously, I didn't get the memo here, but it is beautiful. I walked down my stairs and I opened up the window and I could just see the light snow falling. And a lot of people working from home, so that's the good news here, as the roads are slick this morning because temperatures are below freezing. And with the snow coming down, everything is sticking all across the area. You can see that in downtown Indianapolis. As you look off towards the west, there's snow on the rooftops, and the streets are covered as well. Let's go over to radar, and we'll show you exactly where the snow is falling. And it's pretty widespread all across the area. We'll give you a little bit of a tour with some pockets of heavier snow bands in these darker blues as you make your way into northern locations here. There's a little bit of a heavier band of snow making its way through Tipton and then down into northern parts of Hamilton County, into the Cicero Morse Reservoir area up towards Marion here as well. And we'll slide down south of Indianapolis, and there are then some pockets of decent snow over towards Greensburg currently, so that obviously impacts I-74 and then I-69 here through the Bloomington area as well. The snow is coming down at a pretty good clip. The back edge of the snow already, though, in western portions of Illinois. We'll deal with the snow this morning. This afternoon, we taper it off to more in the way of just some scattered snow showers. More on that and the potential accumulation across the area coming up in just a couple minutes. Nicole?
All right, Todd, thank you. And we do want to give you a live look right now from our live drive vehicle. Our photographer, Jonathan Christians, is traveling there on the northwest side, heading south right now. You can see there is some snow on the roads, but crews are out busy this morning, making sure to get that snow cleared off the roads. You can see not too much on the roadways where he is at this moment, but you will want to just slow down, especially on those ramps, those overpasses, the bridges, to make sure you're not hitting any slick spots this morning. And we do have a traffic alert for you. This is on the west side right now, I-465 there, Rockville Road, where you can see emergency vehicles are on scene here. That is due to a crash here at this location. We do know that traffic is down to one lane because of that in the southbound lanes. It's unclear if there are any injuries here, but just make sure to use caution as you're traveling through that area and be sure to give yourself some extra time. Well, today's continuous snowfall could make for some tricky situations for drivers this morning. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us live now with what roads are looking like. Hi, Kelsey. Good morning. Where are you and what are you seeing?
Hey, good morning, Nicole. So we are at 96 in Meridian right now. And so far, I mean, the snow, like Todd said, is coming down pretty steady. It's not slow, but there's not too much as of right now. So I just drove here from Hancock County. So honestly, those side roads, they were bad. I was going at least 5 miles under the speed limit the entire time. When I got onto the interstate, I was only going about 40, the highest I was going. I think road conditions are just not good right now. You never really know what's going to be under that snow. I found myself skidding quite a bit on my drive over here, about a 30-minute drive. So again, just be cautious and slow down. And those road crews are going to be out today. So I'm going to have Eldon kind of zoom out and show you. You're going to want to stay 200 feet away from those plow trucks. That's from me right here all the way to that green traffic light you see. So you're going to want to stay that far away, and that is because as those snow plows are going, they're pushing snow, and it can create a cloud which can blind drivers who are following too closely. Now these are large and heavy vehicles, and the drivers are intent on their task at hand, so don't be another distraction to the plow drivers. Now there are a lot of driving tips we could give you for winter driving, but the most important one to do today is do everything slower. Pull out of your driveway slower, drive slower, go when you're stopping at those stop signs, do it earlier. Make sure you have plenty of time to slow down. And of course, we're going to have these weather tips for you all morning, monitoring what's going on here at 96th and Meridian. And as we hear more things from other drivers, our viewers, and those NDOT crews, we will, of course, update you each half hour right here on WRTV. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you so much. We are focused on the north side as well as the south side. South of Indianapolis this morning, we spent time on the 10 miles between Greenwood and Franklin to check the weather conditions just for you. This is the scene in Greenwood, not far from City Hall. People heading north to Indianapolis will face snow-covered roads. The main streets are better than the side streets. To the south in Whiteland, where students are still attending classes in person, the bus stops will be cold and chilly in Johnson County. Franklin is the county seat, a dusting of snow before sunrise. It looks picture perfect, but the concern will be the slick roads and the potential for accidents. It always looks pretty until you need a tow truck. Along US 31, NDOT and City Plows have been out and about this morning, Nicole, but it is slow going if you're traveling anywhere in central Indiana this morning.
Raphael, thank you for checking that area out for us this morning. We want to get to the latest on the pandemic. More Indiana healthcare workers are expected to receive Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine today.
Yeah, so IU Methodist Hospital in Indianapolis will distribute the vaccine to frontline workers who want it today. The first doses were given in Fort Wayne, as you may recall, earlier this week. More than 55,000 doses will be distributed to 50 Hoosier hospitals by the end of this week. Tomorrow, the FDA's Committee of Doctors and Scientists will meet to vote on authorizing Moderna's vaccine. Health officials are warning the arrival of a COVID-19 vaccine does not mean we can let our guard down, especially during the holidays.
And Vice President Mike Pence says he expects to get vaccinated in the next few days. Pence was in Bloomington Tuesday visiting the Catalent Biologics, which is producing Moderna's vaccine. Governor Eric Holcomb and head of the CDC, Dr. Robert Redfield, also toured the plant. With multiple vaccines in the works, federal officials say they expect to have enough doses for everyone who wants one, but by the second quarter of 2021.
The development and the manufacture of a vaccine, the experts here will no doubt confirm, usually takes between 8 and 12 years. We are on track not only to develop, manufacture, but distribute a vaccine between 8 and 12 months. It is a medical miracle.
A new survey from the Indiana Chamber of Commerce found that a majority of businesses will encourage their employees to get vaccinated. The survey questioned 845 chamber members and investors. 61% said they would encourage employees to get the vaccine, while 11% said they will not. 23% said they would consider on-site vaccinations for employees. 72% of those surveyed say a new federal relief package is crucial to help businesses survive into 2021.
Nicole, this afternoon we'll learn more from the governor about Indiana's fight against COVID-19. Here's a look at the latest numbers impacting our state. The State Department of Health reports 129 more Hoosiers have died with the virus. That brings December's monthly death toll now to 916. 4,347 cases have been reported. More than 434,000 total cases have been reported since the pandemic began. Again, we'll learn more from the governor's update at 2:30 this afternoon. You can watch it by streaming it live on the WRTV News app.
The number of coronavirus-related deaths is spiking across the country, and hospitals continue to be pushed to the limit. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the latest now from Washington.
After those historic first shots, more vaccines arrive at hospitals across the country. In hard-hit El Paso, Texas, the University Medical Center welcoming the arrival of nearly 3,000 doses. At least 47 states have already started vaccinating healthcare workers, with Oregon, Arizona, and Tennessee handing out their first shots by Thursday. Vaccine deliveries expected to expand even further in the coming days, with patients in 1,100 nursing homes getting their shots by next week. And this week, a second vaccine from Moderna could be authorized by the FDA. The government ready to ship out millions of doses the moment it gets approval.
We know that we're going to ship just a little bit short of 6 million doses out to the American people, and we're shipping it to 3,285 locations across the country.
For those on the front line, it can't come soon enough. This moving photo showing healthcare workers at New York's Presbyterian Hospital holding hands in solidarity, ready to receive their shots together. The unprecedented nationwide vaccine program comes as hospitalizations from COVID-19 are reaching record levels. And experts say the numbers will likely get worse in the coming months. In LA County, there are fewer than 100 ICU beds.
I want you guys to all shift your mindsets to disaster mode.
In just the last 24 hours, about 2,900 more Americans died from the coronavirus, the death toll in the U.S. now topping 300,000 as those vaccines are being dispensed. In New York, the mayor says the city may go into a full shutdown again after Christmas.
I don't say it with anything but sorrow, but I do think it's needed.
And in the next wave of vaccinations, first responders, teachers, and food workers, followed by people over the age of 65, and then it'll go to those with pre-existing conditions. Andrew Dimber, ABC News, Washington.
Andrew, thank you. WRTV Investigates has been following the impact of virtual learning on families of children with special needs. A Fisher's mom is urging other parents to make sure their children get the services they need in person. Erin Degg filed a formal complaint against Hamilton Southeastern Schools to get her son Dylan back in school. He's nonverbal and receives occupational, physical, and speech therapy at school. But that all changed when Hamilton Southeastern Schools started this school year virtually. The Deggs filed a formal complaint with the Indiana Department of Education saying virtual learning isn't adequate for their son. We first told you about their complaint back in August. The Deggs say they have since reached a resolution with HSE, and Dylan has been attending school in person and will continue in person even as the rest of the district remains all virtual through at least January 15th.
We as parents have a responsibility to advocate for our children, especially our children that can't advocate for themselves. And we have a responsibility with these kids to speak up and make sure that they are seen and heard and cared for in an equal way.
Hamilton Southeastern Schools told us in the event of virtual services and or therapies are not feasible or are unavailable, compensatory services and or therapies will be considered by the case conference committee. At times, in-person services have continued for students or have been implemented for periods of time based on students' individual needs. The family's attorney says school districts must still follow federal law even if they switch to remote learning. That is something to keep in mind if your child's school district asks to add virtual learning to your child's individualized education plan or IEP. And you can also reach out to InSource, the ARC of Indiana, or Indiana Disability Rights, or another advocate if you run into issues with this situation. Remember, you can find all of this information right now on the WRTV app. Todd.
All right, Nicole, light snow is falling on this storm team alert day for you across the area. The snow that is very light. That is the good news for us here, at least going forward throughout the day today. And it's going to taper off by about midday. So obviously the timing is not great with it being the morning commute. And the roads are slick, as Kelsey and Jonathan and Eldon have been showing you here this morning. But we're not going to get into any of that intense snow throughout the morning hours. That is the good news. We'll give you a little bit of a closer look. Martinsville to Greensburg over towards the Franklin area. Some decent snow right now. Then as we slide to the north, some decent snow falling in northern locations as well. But the back edge already in Illinois, this will be moving out, as I mentioned, by midday. We're talking about a couple inches of accumulation. We'll talk more about that for you and look ahead to your weekend as well and Maine weather coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. We do have another traffic alert for you. This is a live look at 465 just west of State Road 37 on the southwest side. If you look at the top right of your screen, you can see traffic is backing up due to a crash in the westbound lanes near mile marker 6. So just be aware of this. Give yourself some extra time or just completely avoid this area if you can this morning. Raphael.
Let me take you now to Madison County, where an Anderson family says they were late on their bills after the Postal Service stopped delivering their mail. The mail mix-up happened after the Postal Service told Jennifer Abbott that her home was reported for COVID. Abbott says the mail stopped coming when her grandmother was sick back in September, but it was not because of COVID-19. When she told the Postal Service that they gave her some of her mail, but much of it was still not in her mailbox.
Our neighbors, a couple days ago, they got a huge stack of our mail. 2 neighbors down the street got a huge stack of our mail. If they drop off the mail, they throw it up here on the step. I just want my mail so I can pay my bills and not have late charges or stuff gets shut off or my car get repoed.
Now, WRTV is working to get answers and ask the Postal Service about their procedures during the pandemic. They say every precaution is taken to protect mail carriers, but a COVID case will not stop mail from being delivered to a home. The Postal Service says they are investigating this situation in Madison County. Now, time now this morning to check on your very snowy forecast on this Wednesday with our Todd Clausen. Good morning, TK.
Yeah, Raphael, obviously the timing of the snow, not great, happening before the morning commute. I guess the good news is a lot of people working from home. There's not as many buses out there this morning with remote learning, but obviously some people do have to go to school and some people do have to get to work this morning, and you're going to have to give yourself some extra time as the roadways are covered and slushy in some areas. The good news is visibility, even in some of the snow, it's not all that bad. Generally, this is light snow that is falling across the area, and we'll give you just a quick little tour. And it's the darker shades of blue here that are the areas where the heavier snow is coming down. And so you can see there's an area of heavier blue between Muncie and Newcastle. Otherwise, it's generally light blue to that whitish color, which is generally some very light snow. We'll slide down to the south, and you can even see a little bit of a break now approaching the Bloomington area. Greensburg, though, I-74, some decent snow coming down. And the same thing on I-65 as you work your way through Johnson County. We have some light to moderate snow that is falling. The good news is the back edge of this snow is in Illinois. It's mainly going to be a morning event for us, and by this afternoon, we'll start to taper things off, and we'll actually get temperatures above freezing. And getting above freezing is going to be key because right now, obviously, the sun is down, and as you take a live look across downtown Indianapolis, and temperatures are below freezing. So whatever falls right now is going to stick, and it has been sticking, just over an inch of snow in downtown Indianapolis already. But as these temperatures start to climb above freezing and after sunrise, any snow that falls, especially on treated roadways, I think is basically just going to melt away. So the road conditions, if you can just delay your commute a little bit until the sun comes up, I think you'll be in much better shape by mid-morning and then into the afternoon hours. Here's TrueCast with the timestamp in the top right-hand portion of your screen there. And notice what happens by noon. Most of the snow is out of here. It's off to the east. There'll be some lingering snow showers around throughout the afternoon hours. But overall, again, it's not going to be a huge snow for us. We already have about an inch of snow in most locations. We'll be in that 1 to 3 inch range. To the north, it's about 1 to 2. But honestly, you're just kind of splitting hairs between 1 to 3 and 1 to 2 inches. So again, it's going to be our first decent snow this year. But thankfully, it's coming over a fairly long duration. It's not real intense out there right now. So the snow will taper off on the Storm Team 6 alert day. Temperatures get above freezing, and then going forward in your 7-day planning forecast, we'll see the temperatures warm into the 40s starting on Friday, and then by the time we get to Monday, we're in the mid to upper 40s with plenty of sunshine. On Saturday, some rain showers will be a possibility, so whatever snow does fall today is going to melt away fairly quickly as we go forward throughout the remainder of the week, and by this weekend, all the snow, Nicole, will be completely gone.
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take another look at this traffic alert. This is 465 just west of State Road 37 on the southwest side, where you can see on the right side of your screen, traffic is backing up and moving slow in this area. This is because of a crash in the westbound lanes near mile marker 6. Our photographer, Jonathan, just passed this area, and he says it looks like a semi and a car are involved. We don't have any other details, but you will want to avoid this area this morning. Now let's take a live look at Jonathan's camera view here. He was just traveling on I-465 coming up to I-70 on the southwest side, where he tells us this area is a little bit worse. You can see snow is covering the roads where he is right now, so give yourself some extra time, reduce your speeds, and prepare for this morning's drive. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. This time of year, we all know it is so fun to go out and enjoy watching and seeing the Christmas lights.
But Nicole, one man out there is taking this tradition one step further. I mean, like really out there by making his display interactive. Check this out. In North Carolina, Boyd Chapman decided to go all out because of the pandemic. In addition to the lights and the Santa inflatables, there's a mailbox to mail a letter to Santa, a selfie sleigh for families to take pictures. I love that. Games and a wishing tree all in his front yard. And there's still more room for stuff. Boyd says he hopes his decorations will help families get out of the home and enjoy their time together. And bowling. I mean, what more could you want, Todd Clausen, on a Wednesday morning? A little bowling on a snowy Wednesday in central Indiana, but unfortunately that's in North Carolina, so you'd have to drive really far to get there this morning.
You would, and it probably wouldn't be the best drive as they're going to be dealing with some heavy rain off to our south and to our east. And that's the big thing. You know, it's snowing here in central Indiana, but if you're traveling to the east, unless you're leaving this morning, you're probably not going to get there. A major winter storm with snow measured in the feet is expected there across parts of New England and the East Coast. Here, we're just on the western fringe of that storm. You can see the snow on radar. As we go throughout the morning hours, we'll continue to deal with light snow, about 1 to 3 inches of total accumulation. By this afternoon, we are tapering off to just some scattered snow showers with temperatures in the mid-30s. The time now is 5:27. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
The first measurable snow of the season is falling across central Indiana.
On this WRTV Storm Team Alert Day, we're preparing you for the conditions as you start your Wednesday. It is snowy out there this morning, but the good news, Nicole, is as I headed out the door this morning, I don't need to power up my snowblower. There's not that much snow, but Mrs. Sanchez will expect that her driveway gets cleared before she heads out to teach kindergarten this morning. So the shovel is ready here in the next few minutes, and during the commercial breaks, Todd, I'll head out there and do what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, you better grab the snow boots this morning. I brought mine, and you're right. It's not a real heavy snow on your car. You just need to kind of like dust it off this morning, Todd.
Yeah, you know, Raphael's been talking about this snowblower, though, for about 2 years now. And so I figured as soon as we even got a little bit of snow, you'd have that thing fired up just because you've been talking about it. But you're right. It's not a heavy snow. There's not a lot of snow, so a broom or a shovel certainly will suffice here throughout the morning hours to clean off the driveway and the sidewalk and the cars. As far as the snow right now, it's falling across most of the area. It came in a couple hours ago. It's very light snow. That's the good news. You're not going to get into those real extreme reduced visibilities if you do take to the roadways, but you do have to give yourself some extra time because whatever snow is falling out there is sticking on both the roadways and obviously grassy areas and rooftops. Marion to Anderson to Muncie, some light snow falling. Lafayette to Frankfort. Noticing a few breaks here down towards the Bloomington and Bloomfield area. And as we work our way throughout the remainder of the morning and into the afternoon hours, this storm system is going to become a major storm for the East Coast. We're just kind of on the back edge of it. And so the snow will taper off later on this afternoon, and temperatures will come above freezing later on today as well. So there will be some melting that will take place, but obviously just got to give yourself some extra time here this morning with this light snow that continues to fall. By 1 p.m. we are above freezing, and I do think once the sun comes up and the roads are treated, any snow that does fall probably won't stick on the roadways, so that'll be good news as well. More on the snow and a look ahead to the rest of the work week coming up in just a few minutes. Nicole.
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a live look at this traffic alert. We've been showing you this for about the last 30 minutes here on Good Morning Indiana. This is for South Side drivers right now. I-465 west of State Road 37. The westbound right lane here near Harding Street is blocked due to a crash here in this area. You can see traffic is backed up slowly moving, and you'll want to just avoid this if you can. Take an alternate route at this hour because it is getting worse as the morning continues. And we do want to take a live look at our live drive vehicle right now at this hour. This is I-465 on the south side coming up to the I-65 exit. Our photographer Jonathan Christians is monitoring road conditions for us this morning. We can see some snow is covering the roads at this hour. You will want to give yourself some extra time. Prepare for your morning commute. Slow down and be careful out on the roads this morning. And our team coverage continues right now as we monitor road conditions across central Indiana and help you get prepared for your morning commute.
WRTV's Kelsey Anderson is our weather warrior this morning. She's out and about this morning with the latest conditions here in central Indiana. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Raphael. So we are at 96th and Meridian right now, where as you can see, things are moving pretty smoothly, but it is slick out there. I drove over from the east side from Hancock County to here. It did take me a little bit of extra time, definitely going slow. If you're on that side of town, 79th Street was by far the worst. You know, just those curves and of course those bridges and stuff icing up. There's a car just slid right there, Eldon. If you look, they're trying to get right there. So parking lots are slick. Things are moving slowly. So that's the tip for today. Just move slow. But we talked a little bit about that. Just kind of see this car going around this corner. They're making it. But we talked earlier, I heard you, Raphael, saying you have to go out and shovel that driveway. So just want to show you guys, if you get out there now, it's pretty light. It's easy. It's not going to be too bad of a workout. So you can definitely get out there this morning, get that light workout in. But the snow is not too heavy. Again, like I said, we were out driving this morning. On our way over here, things are slick. You're going to want to slow down, and that's the most important thing. Now, I was on the Indy.gov website, and they do have some pretty interesting tips that I saw. So for Indianapolis residents, they're saying, obviously, don't park on those very busy roads. That way those snowplows can get on there. But one tip they did have that I thought was interesting. So on even days, they say you should park on the street side with the even addresses. And on odd days, you should park on the street side with the odd addresses. That way the snowplows have plenty of room to get down those roads and clear them for you, because that's what they're out doing this morning. They are out. We know that NDOT has been out since last night at 11 o'clock. So the roads are looking good. And again, interstates, the interstates are still not completely clear, but they are definitely more clear than these side roads. So again, take your time this morning and make sure your car is completely cleared off. I saw several drivers this morning with just that little window in the driver's area. So again, clean up your car and slow down. We'll have more updates for you on these road conditions coming out through the rest of Good Morning Indiana. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
I understand, Kelsey, it's cold out there and sometimes you just lose your breath. Listen, this morning we're also monitoring all the Twitter feeds from state police as well as NDOT and all the area school systems. Just got a tweet from Dave Clendenning. He's the superintendent here of Franklin schools, where more than 5,000 kids go to school every day. He is now reporting that all elementary and intermediate schools will report now on a delayed schedule. We should also let you know that our ticker is running there at the bottom of your screen. Richmond Community Schools now on a 2-hour delay, and Brown County schools south of Johnson County now reporting that they will be closed and that they will be on e-learning. Here in Johnson County, let me show you the view as I was out and about this morning around 3 this morning. NDOT and city plows are out and about, of course, throughout central Indiana. From Franklin to Greenwood, you will find some snow-covered roads this morning. In some places, you'll need to follow those tire treads, especially here on US 31 this morning. I find it very difficult to maneuver that stretch of road this morning. Snow has been falling in this area now for several hours. This morning, drivers in the Indianapolis area can check out the Indy Snowforce viewer all online. It shows which roads have been treated and which roads drivers are working on in real time.
And make sure you download the WRTV Storm Shield app so you can stay up to date on everything you need to know weather-wise. It is available for free in your smartphone's marketplace. Turning now to the latest on the pandemic, healthcare workers at IU Health Methodist are expected to start getting the COVID-19 vaccine today. Methodist is one of 5 pilot hospitals in the state and the first in Indianapolis to receive Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine. According to hospital leaders, about 1,900 doses will arrive there today. The hospital hospital has installed 2 ultra-low freezers that can store the vaccine at the appropriate temperature, which is about 100 degrees below zero. The freezers can store up to 500,000 doses of the vaccine. IU Health says about 200 pharmacists and pharmacy technicians will be involved in the vaccine distribution, as well as 200 other IU Health employees and volunteers and 400 IU Health learners. And this morning, there's more good news for a COVID-19 vaccine. FDA leaders say Moderna's COVID vaccine appears to be very promising. Dr. Paul Offit says the Moderna vaccine looks to be roughly 95% effective at preventing the virus. The FDA's Vaccines and Related Biological Products Advisory Committee is set to meet tomorrow to review Moderna's vaccine for emergency use authorization. Vaccine advisors to the CDC will meet over the weekend to discuss Moderna's vaccine and the next phases of distribution.
And Nicole, while the distribution of Pfizer's vaccine and the pending approval of Moderna's are signs of hope, the virus is still, of course, posing a serious threat here in Indiana and, of course, across the country. The number of cases, the number of people in the hospital, and deaths, they are up across the country. According to Johns Hopkins University, there are more than 16.7 million known cases in our country, and that number continues to go up. More than 300,000 Americans have died from the virus, with about 2,400 people now dying per day on average. Here at home, 6,657 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. 916 of those deaths happening in this month alone. Tuesday, state health officials reported 129 new COVID-19 deaths, an increase of nearly 100 from the previous day. State health officials also report an additional 4,347 positive cases of the virus. Our 7-day positivity rate is now at 12.5%. Since March, more than 434,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19.
It won't be long until you can buy a COVID-19 test at the drugstore to take and get results right at your home. Here's a look at the test recently getting emergency authorization from the FDA. The antigen test looks for small pieces of the virus in your nose. It will cost around $30 and you'll get the results in about 20 minutes straight to your smartphone. The FDA says it correctly identified 96% of positive samples in people with symptoms. For those without symptoms, it was 91% accurate. The company behind the test expects to produce more than 3 million by next month. We are in alert mode here on Good Morning Indiana, so let's check in with Todd for your Wednesday forecast.
Yeah, you know, and obviously we're in alert mode for the snow that is falling all across central Indiana this morning here, Nicole. We have the school delays coming in. Obviously, it's going to impact your morning commute a little bit as well. Definitely going to need it to slow down. Kelsey was telling you about the roads earlier here this morning, and we'll continue to update you here throughout Good Morning Indiana. We deal with the snow through midday. The total accumulation is going to be about 1 to 3 inches. Just measured a little over an inch so far at my house in Indianapolis. You can see, though, the snow off to our south and west starting to break apart. So we've weathered the first initial burst of snow here, but we'll continue to deal with snow showers throughout the morning before it tapers off. So obviously give yourself some extra time on the roadways here this morning, as they are slick. They are snow covered in most areas, but things will improve as the morning goes on. And we'll break that down for you coming up as Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.
This is a live look out at the roads. Right now it is 5:45 here on Good Morning Indiana. We are tracking conditions all throughout the area this morning. We will keep you updated on crashes and delays. Give yourself some extra time as you're heading out the door this morning.
Slow and easy on this Wednesday, on this WRTV Storm Team Alert Day. Of course, we are tracking snow right here in central Indiana. But Nicole, it can't compare at all to what's happening out east.
Yeah, ABC's Mona Kosar-Opti reports nearly a foot of snow could fall west of Philadelphia, New York, and Boston, with even more snow inland.
Overnight, a potentially crippling storm taking shape, set to affect 65 million Americans. Snowfall totals could top 1.5 feet in some inland areas of the Northeast. Winter storm alerts up this morning from Georgia to New England, and the coronavirus is complicating preparations. Connecticut is being forced to rely on outside contractors to plow the roads because of COVID outbreak at the Department of Transportation. More than 100 employees have tested positive and more are waiting for results. That can mean delays clearing the roads tonight.
We'll have about 50 trucks on the road between our Public Works and Parks Department, as well as our outside contractors.
In New York City, restaurants are bracing for another hit days after indoor dining was banned again. Outdoor dining spaces must now remove chairs, tables, and heaters to make space for plows. The storm also threatening to delay shipments of the COVID vaccine. UPS and FedEx say they're monitoring the conditions and will divert shipments as needed. Meanwhile, some kids can now blame the pandemic for ruining snow days. Public schools in New York City will be holding class no matter the condition.
We still have remote learning in place.
But in Pennsylvania, some school districts are saying not just yet. They're still giving students the chance for a snow day if conditions warrant.
Get away from the screens, get outside, and be a kid. Obviously, follow all the health precautions, but just be a kid.
Mona Kosar Abdi, ABC News, New York.
And that's the exact same storm system that we're dealing with that is going to bring them all the snow. Obviously, it's going to be a lot stronger by the time it gets to them because they have the influence of the ocean, a lot more moisture to deal with compared to what we have here in central Indiana. And we're just really honestly on the western fringe of this system. But nonetheless, the snow is causing some issues on the roadways. We'll have an update on that coming up in just a couple minutes. The good news is that the snow is pretty light, even though it's fairly widespread, as you see on our satellite radar picture. It's not that real intense snow that's going to drop an inch to 2 inches really quickly. In fact, we're only looking at about 1 to 2, maybe 3 inches of snow total with this system as it makes its way through. But obviously it doesn't take a whole lot of snow to cause some issues, and with the timing coming in and temperatures below freezing, the sun not up yet, the roadways are slick. These darker shades of blue, that's where we have a little more in the way of intense snow. You can see in northern locations, and as we slide down to the south, you do notice a little bit of a break starting to appear here in Bedford, up towards Martinsville, into the Nashville area as well. And that trend, I think, does continue throughout the course of the morning hours. As we expand out, you notice here off to our west in Illinois, this is the back edge of all the precipitation. You notice that, and you also notice along the Ohio River here now down towards the Louisville area, where they're seeing that changeover, and the warmer air will continue to start to work its way to the north. So any additional accumulation is probably going to be between about now and 8, 9 o'clock. I think once we get past 9 o'clock in the morning, temperatures are starting to warm. The sun will be up at that point. And as far as accumulating snow, it'll stick to grassy areas, to the cars, to the rooftops. But I think the roads will be in much better shape by 9 o'clock than they are here this morning. There's the view, and here are the temperatures. 28 in Indy right now, 27 in Kokomo. Shelbyville sitting at 30 degrees. TrueCast will show you the future here of the potential of the snow. And you see by the time we get to 9 o'clock, still dealing with snow across the area. But once we get towards the noon hour and beyond, we really just taper it off to a few snow showers here and there across the area. So it's not going to be a big event here for us. I measured just over an inch of snow in Indianapolis in my backyard here this morning, and we'll probably level off, most of us, around 2 inches. There could be a few areas that get up to right around 3 inches, but again, a good third of that snow has already fallen across the area. Going forward, your planner, light snow here through 7 to 9 o'clock. By 11 a.m., we're starting to taper things off. And then by 4 o'clock, just mostly cloudy skies and a temperature of 34 degrees. Tomorrow, not the brightest day for us. The snow will still be on the ground, but it'll start to melt away a little bit as temperatures will be climbing up into the mid-30s across the area. And then going forward in this forecast, any snow that is out there, that'll melt away pretty quickly here in the coming days. As you notice, the temperatures will start to climb up into the 40s. Not only do high temperatures get into the 40s, but look at those low temperatures starting at least Saturday morning and then going into the middle of next week. Lows will be in the 30s compared to the 20s across the area. Bottom line is you have to give yourself a little bit of extra time this morning because the roadways are slick, and that is widespread across central Indiana. To get an update on some of the snow that's happening across the area, we've talked to Kelsey on the north side. We're going to go to the south side now and to Lauren Casey, who is down in the Greenwood area. Good morning, Lauren.
Hey, good morning, Todd. You guys are doing great this morning. Not the best day to be off work, but I guess it was in terms of my drive. I'm looking out my window right now down in Greenwood, and I haven't stepped out the door just yet, but looking at my table out here on the back porch, we've got about an inch and a half, I'd say, of snow. We do have our live drive vehicle out on the roads right now, and the things are really fluctuating. We were monitoring that issue down on the south side that was really slowing traffic down. It's looking like 465 past 37 is wrapping up, so that is good news for drivers out there this morning. Our photographer, Jonathan Christians, is on I-65 heading northbound, approaching 38th Street. And what we can tell you from the roads is we just have changing conditions. As Todd mentioned, the timing isn't the best, but as you can see, NDOT here working to get the roads clear. You can see he's moving around about up to speed. So what you want to be aware of is just the changing conditions out there. We did have that west side crash near Rockville Road. That was slowing down traffic a little. It looks like that one is wrapping up this morning. Nicole was telling you about that. And then again, down on the south side, we were monitoring that major, basically stop traffic along westbound I-465 near Harding Street, and that looks like it is wrapping up as we speak right now. So things are changing here. Looks like everything on the northwest side is moving along up to speed, but I'll be keeping a close eye on the roads, tweeting things out and checking in with you guys. So what people need to know is just be patient, be flexible as you're heading out the door this morning, because things could change in an instant. And hopefully it looks like crews have been salting, getting the roads clear as best they can. So of course we'll keep you guys updated.
And Lauren, I am following you on Twitter this morning, and you see, Lauren, it does pay to work from home. See, this is the perfect day for all of us, if you can, to work from home. But we'll see what happens. Hey, listen, some hair just takes a while to grow. And after the break, why your hair, your hair at home, doesn't compare to this lady's. The story behind this story, you'll have to hear. And here's a live look outside this morning where snow continues to fall across central Indiana. You heard from Lauren. You've seen Kelsey at work. We have the latest news, weather, and traffic, of course, as Good Morning Indiana continues on this snowy Wednesday right here on WRTV. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Have you seen this on your Facebook feed? A 32-year-old fashion designer in New York City has just broken the Guinness World Record for largest female afro. Check this out. Simone Williams' hair, when styled, is more than 8 inches tall and nearly 9 inches wide. The total circumference is about 4 feet 10 inches. As you can imagine, Williams says it attracts a lot of attention, which is why she decided to go for the record. Why not? Williams told Guinness that she started growing out her hair 9 years ago. A beautiful lady and beautiful hair. And Todd Clausen, at a certain age in a man's life, you just hope to grow hair. So if I could have an afro like that, I would be happy at my age. Yes, indeed.
It is an impressive set of hair. I will say that. I got plenty of hair. It's just going gray on me. That's the problem. I wish I could reverse that, but you know, we're just gonna go for that George Clooney look here eventually, Raphael. I think that's what we're gonna get to. All right, outside right now. Temperatures are in the 20s. We are below freezing. The snow is falling across central Indiana. Give yourself some extra time as you get out the door here this morning. The snow will taper off by about midday. We're still looking at about 1 to 2 inches of accumulation. Some areas could get up closer to 3, but temperatures this afternoon should get above freezing, and that will help with road conditions here all across the area.